Hello everybody and welcome to a Roblox studio thing. In this episode we're going to be continuing the game that we've been working on. So in this video we're going to be working on the spawn as well as a few setup things. So first off, I'm going to get rid of the base plate because we don't want that anymore. I'm going to insert an object, and this object is going to be a part. Now, the reason why I wanted to get rid of the base plate is because I don't like the base plate. I find it annoying just being there. So we're going to tidy up a little bit. And this here, we're going to have a nice slab look thing. This is going to be our nice little slab. It's going to be grey. So it's going to remain grey. And then model, we're going to be doing some things in model. Material, we're going to set that to pebble. In fact, I don't like that, so cobblestone. I'm sorry guys, I'm just trying to find something that looks good. That looks like a nice little path. We're just going to say, I'm tempted to just say plastic surface and we'll make it smooth. No, so that looks good. As I said, I'm trying to find a nice like material. Concrete, there we go, we'll use concrete. So the concrete, we want it like this. So this is our nice little part here now. So this is going to be our road slabs. So the reason why I want to use a tiny little slab is because what we're going to do now is we're going to select this and then hit Control D. And we're going to move this along like this. So it makes a kind of nice looking, like it looks like a path. So we're going to take two of these, we're going to hit move, and we're going to hit D. And we make sure you hit Control D because this duplicates things. So as we can see here, if I hit D again, we've got a nice little pathway going. So we're currently creating the spawn, and we're gonna make a nice little spawn area. I think I'm gonna move this along here one more time, and we're gonna have this. So in fact, I'm trying to make this look nice. Because this game is going to be a game you can play. So I'm going to get rid of all these ones here. So I want to get rid of all these ones because this is where the actual building is going to be going. So I'm going to delete that. And there we go. So in here, so I think I'm going to just make a nice little outline maybe. I don't know why I did this, but this is looking good. So I've got a nice little area here. I'm going to hit Control D. We're going to rotate these like so. Okay. This is a lot quicker than just moving each individual part. So, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move this along here. So you've got a nice little path surrounding it. And I'm going to take this again. These parts that I controlled D a minute ago. So see along here. So actually just select that part real quick. And select that part. I'm going to hit Control D again. We're going to rotate. We're going to move along to here. Move this along like this. And move it down again by one. So now I just want to get all these ones here. Scale. No, not scale. Move D. Make sure I hit Control D so this works. We see here this is like this now, so I need to not mess up on this because this is not an easy thing to do. I'm just going to undo the previous move. There we go. So if I move this over here, move along here.
I'll just have normal stuff then.
So I'm going to continue along here and push this down. So I've got a nice little frame that's going to go around my building. So if I come along in here, get a part, and I'm going to move this along here. So I'm going to move this along here, and I'm going to make this big so people have a nice walking area that isn't going to get in the way. So now in here we're going to make a nice look. We're going to make this look good. So I'm going to hit this to fabric so we can make a nice little carpet maybe. There's all sorts of things we can do in here. So I'm going to go with a nice carpet look. I'm going to make this green, nice green carpet and smooth. So we've got a nice carpet for our little place now. But what I'm going to do is I'm trying to make a nice looking carpet because I don't want it to look too boring, but I don't want it to look too natural now. So this is our nice little carpet here. It's a nice fabric carpet. I might change this to wood maybe, but wood's pain to get nice texture on. If I do wood planks, there we go. So that's looking good. So we've got some nice wood planks, so that works well. So now we're going to build for walls, or shall I build? Because this is the spawn, so I don't want it to be too fancy, but I don't want it to look ugly at the same time. You know what I mean? So I'm going to move this along here. It's going to go here. I'm going to make it take up more space. So I'm just going to make some ghost block doors because those are what people like to do because it's simple and quick and easy. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to turn move off like this. So it might be a bit harder to navigate your person around. We're going to do that really thin, like that, like stupidly thin. Okay, and we're going to change this to a nice plastic texture with some colour to black. So here on this part, as you can see, we've got a load of parts here. We're actually going to do something with these parts in a minute. We're going to tidy them up a bit. So here, we want to do some things. We want to do transparency. We want to make it clear that you can walk through this. So I'm thinking a nice, there you go, that's a nice transparency, so people can tell they can walk through it. And we also want to do anchored as well as, but we're going to turn can collide off. So we also, I think, and also with all these ones here, we want to make sure they can collide and they're all anchored. So click the one at the top, come down to bottom, shift, and that'll select all those ones. So now we do anchored, they won't fall to the ground. So they're not going to fall to the ground now, which is a nice thing to know. And I'm going to continue with my doors. So we're going to turn move back on so it's easier to move around with stuff. So I'm going to hit move, and I want to do a door over here, which is going to look nice. So do a nice door down here. There we go. And so there's my doors. We can walk through them. They're not really fancy doors, but I don't want them to be too fancy. Otherwise, it's going to take me ages. So what we are going to do is we are going to turn the move off for 1 second, and we are going to move into about there, turn move back on. So I'm actually going to delete this one because I kind of messed up on this one, didn't make it look as good. So I'm going to make sure move is set to 1 studs as well. So bring it along here, move down, move along like that. So we've got nice little doors now. And they work perfectly. We can go in and out. Not that at the moment you will really want to because there's nowhere to go to. So that's a bit of a problem. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to build some walls. So we're going to go right here, right here. We're going to move this down. This is a very tiny wall, so we're going to make it bigger. To do this, we're going to just drag it along here. And I want this to be the same height as my door. Okay. Same height as my door, really nice. And we're not going to have a black one because black's boring. And who likes black? Not me. However, black is nice sometimes. We're going to set brick, and then with this brick, we're going to have a nice dark red brick. Okay. I'm going to set the smooth to no outline, so it looks nice. Now we just want, smooth no outline because then it fits in nicely and neatly. So it's starting to look a bit like a building now. We've got a nice looking building here now. So if I hit D, so we can duplicate our wall and bring it over. And we want to put it right here so it doesn't take up too much space. Right on the edge, right next to our door, and plonk it down. So now we've got 2 of our walls in. I'm going to hit D again. And we're going to hit the rotate tool, and we're going to turn this like this. So it's a nice flat wall. So we're going to come over here now, and And we've got to change the size of our wall a little bit so it slots in here. So we're gonna do this. So as you can see, when you rotate it, it does lose. The size kind of goes off a little bit. So for the meantime, instead of 1 stud, we're going to change this to 0.5 studs. So then we can put this back in line with all the others. So it works nicely and neatly. So we can change it back to 1 stud now. It's fine to change back to 1 stud. And with 1 stud, we're going to hit scale and not muck up like by hitting stuff on the context help. I didn't even know that was an option they had, so but we want to ignore that. I'm going to move this down here. Move this down like so, so it fits in nicely and just slots in. So now this, while it does look very good, it doesn't really match up very well. On this side it matches up right, but you can kind of tell it's a completely different part. So what we're going to do, but first I want to hit D and we're going to bring this along. So by the way, you can do this with any building, it doesn't have to be a spawn, but you can use the different tools to make stuff. So I put this down here, and the nice thing is about this is that the doors actually dipped in a bit, which looks really great. So it helps it and makes it look nicer. So now I'm going to do one thing here, and I want a nice wedge. I think I'm going to have a nice wedge roof maybe, because I don't want a flat roof, because flat roofs are boring. So we're going to bring this up here, and we're not going to do that because that mucks it up, so I'm going to just hit undo that. But this bit here, we're going to move here, and I'm going to have a nice, it's going to look like that. I'm going to move it along here. Don't want to make it too big. We'll do that. So I think I'm not going to have an overhang because I don't want an overhang. I don't think that'll look good on it. And I'm going to bring this here for about that size. I'm going to just bring it up a bit. There you go. I think, no, we'll have it like that. That looks good. Right here. Just 2 studs will look really good. And plus it looks nicer. So now we're going to be doing something a bit advanced. We're going to be using a wedge, but in a bit of a different way, so it will look a bit weird, especially because I've never done this before. So I might do it, I might not, but for the meantime I'm going to copy this across. So I'm just going to do Control D, rotate, like this. Remember, we're working with wedges here, so we'll make sure it's on the line steadily, which it is. We can move this along like so, which looks really good. So I'm just going to move it along by 1 more and move it down. Okay. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to make another block part. Now this block part is so we can kind of make it look a bit fancier. So I'm just going to put this in here. Not really to make it look fancy, to be honest. It's just to make it so there's not a hole in the roof, which is not going to look very good. So we can move this along here. It's down. So now we've got that. So we're going to add another part in, like so. Nice little part. In fact, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to move it along. I'm going to use the scale tool. I'm going to move it. No, we're going to apparently move the entire floorboard. No, we're not going to do that either. We're going to just move this along here, like so. So then this kind of, it's a nice little roof. So it's not too complex, but it's got a nice little touch to it. So I want to do one thing here, and I'm going to make it so we have a no outline on everything. So I'm just going to go around, hit all the surfaces with this. The reason why I want to do that is because then they all look like they're all one. So we're going to be doing something with a little bit here with a tool which I like to use called a union. So we're going to go along, we're going to select all of these parts that make our walls and our roof, and we're going to put them together. So this takes a little while to do, so I have to go around, select all the parts we want to put in the union, and this will look good. So also want to grab this one, this wall I think, nope, got it. So I'm going to hit union. What's actually happened here is all these parts have actually become one. Now there's a little problem we've got to solve here before we do much else. By the way, this little bit here, we're going to sort out in a minute. We're actually going to sort it out now actually. We're going to use a wedge part. Okay, so we're not going to get rid of it completely, because there's no point in that. But I think it's a nice little feature that we can actually adapt to work better for us. So we can pull this up here. I'm actually going to turn collisions off just so I can move it better. I'm going to rotate it now, but we're going to use the red one instead. So we use the red one. Once this decides it's going to work, you might have to turn collisions off, which I'm going to have to, so the game lets me do this. So turn it like that, and then turn it around. This can be a bit tricky, this part. Like that. So we have it like that, and now we can hit move it up here, move it along onto the wall. Now we've got the same problem again like we did earlier. No, we don't, never mind. So you can actually make this we can make this go out as wide as we want to, but I'm gonna have mine like that. I like it like this. I don't want it too sudden, so it's perfect for how I want mine. So I'm going to make sure this is still going to thread yet like it should, and that's perfectly how I want it. So we're going to hit D, we're going to rotate it using the green one, because it's movable. So we use the move tool now. We're going to move it along here. In a minute we're going to do a bit more detail to make this look nicer. I can move this here, and there's that. So now we've got a nice slope there, so it looks nice. So we're going to also union that with our union, which I'm going to show you is probably getting to the point where it's sounding a bit off now. So we want to select all this, and yet again we want to do a union. So a union is a bit hard to set up here because we need to get all these parts. So they're all there, now we union. So now they match even better. See? They're matching, they all line up. Now actually if we come up here, as you can see here, they're all on the same line. Apart from this piece that didn't union with all the rest of it. So it didn't union with our union. So there we go, now it nicely matches up. It doesn't union. Please union, there we go. So we can see here it all matches up nicely now, which means we've got loads of detail in our build. So what we're actually going to do now is, because we've worked so hard in here, we're actually going to start furnishing it. But the first thing I want to do, because this is the spawn, we need to add a spawn point, a place where we can actually spawn in and add. So we go over to somewhere, go try and find the option now, I think it's home part. It's here somewhere. There we go, spawn. So we're gonna have a nice little spawn down here, and I'm gonna put it along these walls. So go over to here. Okay. The back wall here. We're gonna have it along the back wall. So it looks nice. And here we're just gonna set this material to a nice grass, maybe. Red grass, no. Nice pebble. Trying to find a nice looking one. I think we just might have plastic, but what we're going to do is we're going to turn move off. Make it really thin. So it's a nice spawn platform. We're also going to go into here and get rid of this decal, sorry. Whatever it's called. I'm going to go back to move, turn it back on. I'm trying to make this look nice. Corroded metal never looks nice, never really has, probably never will. So we're not going to use that because that doesn't look very nice. Diamond plate looks good, so we'll use diamond plate. And we're going to set it to a nice green. There we go, so it's a nice green. So now I've already hit move, hit Control D, move it along. There we go, so we have multiple spawns now. So D, yeah, again, just going to do this, brick colour. So down here we've got brick colour as well. That's why I said brick colour, I don't know why I did. So we'll keep going. So basically I want all the players to have a nice spawn place so they can spawn in properly. And they're not going to be in the middle of everything. So I'm also going to set this to 0.5 now, because we're going to select all these. And we're going to move them a tiny bit, just because then they're a bit more centered. So all we want is these spawn locations. So we're going to move them a little bit. So we're going to move them this way by 0.5. We're going to move them out by 0.5. So that's, I believe, one stud, yeah, one stud. So we move it out to here. Okay, so look at that now. So those are all nicely, neatly lined up along here. So they have a nice little place where they can spawn now. So we go up here and we're going to set this back to 1 so we can move properly. We also want to change something with this union to make sure we can do this. So we're going to change the, let's see, I'm trying to find it now. Collision, like fieldability, we're setting that to hull. So what that should happen now, as we spawn in here. Now the problem is we do spawn on the roof, and we'll sort that out in a minute by changing a few things. We've also detected a bug here. It's also good to test because then we can find bugs. And for some reason I can't walk in here. So let's fix this. So I'm gonna separate all this union stuff, because I think this is where the problem's at. And I want to get rid of the problem. So no, we don't want to turn that into a negate, we want to separate that. So we've got a lot of parts here. We're gonna tidy this all up in a minute. So first things first though, I'm gonna go along here. I'm gonna set every single one of these parts. So actually I'm gonna just hit go to the top, shall we? Hit Control. And we're gonna shift down it. So this is all the parts, they're all selected now. And we're gonna do, if you look at scale, this gives you an idea of how many parts there are that makes this. So it may not seem like there's a lot of parts for it, but there really is. So we're just gonna change something in anchored, and we're gonna say, yes, it's all anchored. And can collide is an optional value, that's going to change, which varies from part to part. So now if I hit play, we still spawn on the roof, which is still a bit of a bug. So if I drop down here though, as you can see we can go on the outside. So we're going to fix the bug where it's on the roof, but see we through there to ghost block, whatever we want with DevBlox, they're quite amusing things. So this is where I was meant to spawn like along here somewhere, so we're going to work on fixing that. So, the best way to fix this is we're going to find where they're meant to be at. So this part here, this part is what's stopping us. So what we're going to do is this part is we're going to just change value. We're going to say can collide off. So you can't collide with it. Now while this does cause a small bug, it's not a big one. So we also want to set this to can collide is off also. So when we spawn in, we should spawn in on the pad, however not because of the part down here. So we're going to go down here. Remember, it's all trial and error with us. You can never get it right though. That's the problem. Can colliders off. Hit play. And we spawn right here on one of our pads. Now we can zoom through here. We can't zoom through the walls, but being here is not too much. At least I don't think it is. So now we're going to change a few things out here. So first of all, we need to fix all this. We'll go in here, select every single part there is. We're also going to go down here and go to surface. We want to go to surface. Front surface, smooth. Left surface, smooth. Right surface, smooth. Top surface, smooth. Smooth, please. Bottom surface, smooth. Back surface, smooth. So what this does is it fixes all the problems that we've got everywhere, and it also means we get rid of all these studs on the bottom here, so it just looks a bit nicer. So now I think I might make a chair, but that's for later on. So we're gonna tidy this all up because it's a bit of a mess in here. So we're gonna find everything we need for spawn. So of course we don't want to select all these parts here. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna click this, scroll down here, do that. But then we're gonna hit the select tool. We're gonna do here. What this does is it deselects the selection. But we have to hit Control as we do this, otherwise we get a bug because it doesn't detect that we've selected this. We need to make sure we select this all properly. And not do that, because that's just messed everything up. So scroll down here, shift click, hold Control down, and not do that. I'm just unable to do it. Wow. Let's just select everything down here. We don't want any of the things on the sides or on here, because then that messes it up. So I'm just going to go along, do that, go along and do that, and control click on that part, control click in here, make sure the bottom of this is selected. And this we're just going to put we've got all these things and we're going to group like this, group. And actually if you look here, if I hit move to the move thing, I go along here, we move the majority of what's here, so you're just going to grab the last few things. So now there's a bit of a bug here now. We've got a bug. We need to fix this bug. So we need to make sure all these parts are selected, otherwise we get a problem. And we're going to put it into our group. We're going to hit Control X. You see, we're going to hit Control V, and everything should be inside this model down here if I haven't failed. But obviously I have failed, because that's what I'm good at. Control X. See there? We've moved all this. And now we're going to go into the model and paste into. Now all this stuff here, we're just going to move back over to their correct spots, so we can sort this all out. So move that there, just because and everything lines up nicely and neatly. We have this model here. This is our spawn. We're going to rename this to spawn. And everything else out here. This is going to be part of what's eventually going to be a road. So we want all the road pieces. I'm going to just hit group. Instead of model, it's going to be called road. So I hope you enjoyed this video. So I'm going to do a little bit on the buildings while off camera, and then you're going to come back, and this spawn is going to have like a few long leaps, and it's going to be cool. So hope you enjoyed watching this video. Bye.